Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Is XRP too big to fail? I kind of hope so, because that's my largest crypto holding, frankly. Take a look at this headline from Crypto Newsflash. Ripple CTO. XRP can't fail due to SEC lawsuit as market cap is too big. And it does kind of hit back at this idea that XRP, even though obviously I think it's reasonable to state this, Ripple is the most well-known supporter of XRP. It makes sense to just acknowledge that they have the largest holdings of XRP out of any entity or person on the entire planet. And this is all in full transparency, of course. To me, this was something that was appealing when I found out about this, that there's a decentralized cryptocurrency that's being supported by a company that doesn't have any special permissions over it. To me, that was supremely appealing because they've got a veritable war chest, and I'm not the only one that felt this way. If I were, then frankly, XRP wouldn't be where it is in terms of market cap, but there are all sorts of other people out there that view it the same way. Now, it's a turnoff to the Bitcoin maxi trolls, the fact that there's an entity that's helping to, the legacy financial system utilizing a cryptocurrency. That's like the greatest sin that there could possibly be in the minds of a Bitcoin maxi here. And then again, someone like me that just isn't ideologically driven, I just see the opportunity here and how it can change the way money moves around the planet. And I just was like, yeah, this makes all the sense in the world. But even so, XRP, it looks like it's probably grown to the point where even if Ripple absolutely 100% went away, which I don't think is realistic, I don't think that's going to happen. But even if they actually did cease to be a company, XRP, it's getting used in so many ways that I don't think it would go away. Even if Ripple went away, fine, maybe you'd see some sort of terrible, because it'd be scary, it's a terrible market price crash in the short term. If it's a functionally useful crypto and other developers are making it useful, well, it could have some staying power here. And I think that's a reasonable point here. And again, not that I think this doomsday stuff's going to happen. I do not. But it's still an interesting concept. And so I want to talk about that. And also, I have an update for you unrelated to this. I'll share at the tail end of the video about CoinDesk. I'm sure many of you know at this point, they're going public. I want to talk a little bit about the timeline because it's happening soon. And also, another United States-based cryptocurrency exchange has announced they too are going public, following in the footsteps of Coinbase. Now, I do want to be clear that I don't have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos as a hobby about Ripple and XRP and cryptocurrency, and that's all that this is. Into the piece now. Ripple CTO David Schwartz spoke with CoinDesk TV about recent developments in its legal battle with the SEC, the supposed reasons for the recent XRP price pump, and the differences between his company and Stellar. And so just to be clear, because there are so many people new to the XRP community, he's not just Ripple CTO, he is a co-creator of the XRP ledger itself. And so anyway, regarding Ripple's recent victory in court, under which the company is obtaining access to external and partially internal SEC documents regarding the classification of Bitcoin and Ethereum as non-securities, Schwartz stated that the SEC lawsuit came out of nowhere. And take a look at this quote. I think the primary argument that we're trying to make here is that the market considers them similar. We consider them similar. All the evidence suggests that they are similar. And then the SEC comes out of nowhere and says, no, they are completely different. Yeah, exactly. Which is why it's going to be super rich once Ripple has an opportunity to dig into these documents that are going to have to be divulged to find out what exactly was the thinking process for the SEC in determining that Bitcoin and ETH not securities, especially given that Ethereum, they had an ICO. It wasn't called an ICO at the time. That term hadn't been coined yet, but they had an ICO. And Vitalik Buterin, he's on video talking about how they're going to sell. They're clearly the central authority. And you can pretend it doesn't matter, but it's a lie. It absolutely does matter. And that's why when you get these when you get these internal communications here, that's why so many of the attorneys that are tracking this stuff and sharing their opinions within the XRP community, there's a reason that they're saying, hey, this could be game over. this actually could be game over for the SEC. And the piece continues. Schwartz also addressed the question of whether the outcome of the court case could affect the existence of XRP, but the Ripple CTO dismissed that suggestion, effectively saying that XRP is too big to fail. The only reason to be concerned is that it's always hard to sell, Schwartz said. A good example, according to Schwartz, is Bitcoin's drama over block size expansion. And here's a quote. It all worked out okay, but there wasn't certainly a lack of drama. And the reason not to worry, I would say, because the market caps of these systems are in the billions of dollars. People acting in their own self-interest are not going to allow the ecosystem to die if there's a way to save it, as Schwartz explained. And then he said, that's all that's holding these systems together. The governing bodies don't have any legal authority to control these systems. It's just people want them to work, Schwartz continued. Yeah, and it's also the case that even though there are people that are running these, it's decentralized. So there's not some sort of central entity with their own interests in mind dictating what happens on it. It is decentralized, and so that functionally matters as well. And then Schwartz continued, though. Meanwhile, Schwartz was hesitant to offer firm reasons for XRP's recent price surge, but suggested that rumors of a relisting of XRP by Coinbase may have triggered some upward movement. And I actually talked about that specifically in a recent video, so I don't really want to go into that aspect of this conversation again. But suffice it to say here, look, there's news happening every single day with Ripple, and it doesn't move price. And then on the days when XRP happens to be moving, did I say Ripple? If I use the term incorrectly, I'm just kind of tired right now. But on the days when XRP does move dramatically up or down, people always try and tie it to whatever the news is at the moment. That's what caused it. But there's news every day, and it doesn't cause anything. So why the news? Why is the news now impacting it? I don't buy the arguments. It's okay that I don't mind Schwartz brought it up, but that's because I just want to share where I personally stand on that. In addition, he expressed that the SEC litigation hearing and related hopes, quote, might have impacted the price, but these are just guesses, end quote. Yeah, I think it was more about just the technical setup of the charts, me personally, but anyway. Moreover, the host also confronted Schwartz about the progress of the perceived nemesis Stellar and its founder Jed McCaleb. As CNF reported, Crypto Newsflash, Stellar is currently being used to develop two central bank digital currencies, the Bermuda dollar and the Hryvnia in Ukraine. I don't know how to say that. You look at this on the screen here. How the hell am I supposed to know how to say that without having heard that pronounced? I'm just saying, man. And don't say Google it. I didn't want to. Anyway, the Ripple CTO began by highlighting the differences between the two projects, explaining that Ripple as a company, quote, made big bet in 2014/2015 on enterprise payments and XRP as a payment solution. And he also said the following. Here's a quote. We directly worked very hard on allowing banks and financial institutions to be able to use XRP as a way to settle their payments in just a few seconds and as an alternative to the corresponding banking system. There's a lot of work involved in doing that. I think we made a lot of progress on that. We have millions of transactions that take place on RippleNet by financial institutions. And so then the piece continues. At the same time, Schwartz elicited that the technologies are very similar, as Stellar basically started copying the XRP ledger. And that's true. Stellar itself, it is a copy of the XRP ledger that was tweaked. It was modified in certain ways. And then just put out into the wild. And so nevertheless, over time, he said the direction of the projects have changed significantly. And here's one final quote from Schwartz. So there are similarities in terms of the technology, but there are a lot of differences on the way we're perceived in the market. If you look at the projects being built on the XRP ledger and look at the projects being built on Stellar, they are different projects, even though the technologies are similar. And so that's in line with what I've been saying on this channel forever. Like, people view XRP and XLM Stellar as competitors just because of the relationships that Jed used to have with Ripple. He was a co-founder of Ripple. And then the fact that it's using the same underlying technology. The open source XRP ledger was copied and then modified. I get why people are doing that, but I've been pointing out, if you just take a little bit slightly more sophisticated look at all of this, you can see that they're not being used for the same use cases. You know, do you see Stellar XLM being positioned in any sort of meaningful way as a bridge currency? Do you see that, for example? Do you see it being used as a new form of web monetization like Coil's doing for XRP? Well, no. You don't see any of that crap. It's different use cases, which is great. But mind you, I hold Stellar Illumins. I do. And I hope that it continues to do well. Why would I not? I hold it. So I'm just pointing out that they're not being used for the same case. So the degree to which people are talking about them being competitors, I just think it's completely overblown and it's not in line with reality. Now, here's a piece from Bitcoin Exchange Guide. Coinbase to go public on NASDAQ under the ticker COIN, C-O-I-N, in less than 2 weeks, which is the perfect ticker for Coinbase, don't you think? COIN? All right, anyway. So there's not much to say on this. I just wanted to highlight this. But here you go. Coinbase Global Inc. has finally revealed the date that it is making its trading debut on NASDAQ under the ticker COIN, April 14th. In less than a couple weeks. So actually, as I record this, you're talking about a matter of what, like 5 days or so? Yeah, I think it's 5 days. If it's, what is it, the 9th? Anyway, the largest U.S. cryptocurrency exchange is planning to go public now that the company's registration for the listing has been declared effective by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, Coinbase said Thursday in a statement. And here's a quote. "We're happy to announce that earlier today, the SEC declared our S-1 registration statement effective and that we expect our direct listing to occur on April 14th, 2021 with our Class A common stock." Now, this is going to be interesting to see just how money pours in. Do you guys think that money that would have otherwise gone into crypto is going to pour into Coinbase instead? Because I've heard people say that, and I don't think so at all. I mean, the type of person that would, I mean, there are some people that just want exposure to companies that are like blockchain because they're not comfortable with crypto. But if they're not comfortable with crypto, they weren't going to buy Bitcoin anyway. So to me, that argument doesn't really make sense, but I've heard people talk about it on primarily on Twitter. And then there was this from you today. Kraken confirms its plan to go public in 2022. I thought this was a cool story too. I love seeing cryptocurrency companies going public. And you know what? I bet Ripple would have announced their IPO by now if not for all the nonsense that's happened with the SEC, but such is life. Anyway, cryptocurrency exchange Kraken will have its public debut in 2022 via a direct listing, according to CEO Jesse Powell's new CNBC interview. And here's a quote. "We're looking at being able to go public sometime next year. It would probably be a direct listing similar to Coinbase." And the piece continues. "There have been numerous reports about Kraken holding a new funding round that could boost its valuation to a whopping $20 billion, but Powell says it's not in a rush to seek new investors ahead of the Coinbase listing." Here's another quote. "We've kind of been delaying a bit to see where the Coinbase valuation comes in at." Yeah, so of course they want as high a valuation as possible. It makes sense. But they're waiting to see what happens with Coinbase, using that as an indicator of what might happen with them to kind of judge how much money is going to flow and what the valuation might be. So a strategic move there. Anyway, I'll wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.